Alrighty, so welcome back to the second part of our session. We've done our day together and now we've got some exciting stuff to cover for the remainder of our time together and tonight on here. Now, first I do need to ask, has anyone never used Zoom before? I'm assuming that I'm assuming that everyone is, yeah. So you know how to take yourself off mute, you know how to put yourself on mute, you know how to write notes or ask questions in the chat box. That's the most important thing. And just like when we met on our day together at Barley Garden, please jump in with any questions at any time. No question is a silly question. And I don't want to be just sitting here just lecture mode, or shall we say, just talking. So yeah, do feel free. And I'm actually going to ask you, because I'm going to ask you to share how your practice is going. And so we'll do a bit of a recap on that. And then I want to focus on what your body is doing, all the good stuff that your body is doing, so that you can start to focus on so much of the good stuff that is happening. So we'll talk about some of nature's gifts of birth. We're going to then chat a little bit about the very fascinating topic of prenatal psychology and do a connection with baby exercise. Then it will be a bit of a move, stretch, toilet break before we get right into a deep relaxation exercise, the fear release exercise, which I'll talk more about at the time. And at the time of that, that exercise that we do, it will be great idea for you to be somewhere where that you can get really nice and comfortable. Will be lights off, cameras off, etc. And it will be ideally really comfortable, but not let's go to sleep in the next 5 minutes comfortable, if you get my drift. However, this is all being recorded. And so the bonus is if you totally drifted off at any point in time, you can get a recording. So let's have a chat about what you might have been up to in the last 10 days in terms of your practice. And there's no judgment here from you, okay? No judgment whatsoever. It's really just curious to know. Curious to know if you've got any questions about any of the tools. And sometimes it can be, for some couples, a bit of a motivation factor. Oh my goodness, we do actually need to get into some of these tools. So, over the last 10 days, you've had access to audio affirmations and your affirmation cards. You might have used those at some way, shape, or form. You might have been listening to any of the other audio tracks, the relaxation ones, whether it was, the shorter ones like the melt, or longer ones like the rainbow of colors, or the colored fish. There might have been lavender that you might have listened to. So there's a few longer ones. You might be listening to the same one, or you might have just changed it up every night. I'm curious to know if anyone has been using or drawing on the relax breath during kind of day-to-day situations. If you're feeling, a little bit tense, tight, or just using it every time you're consciously trying to relax. And then the wave breath. I'm really hoping that you may be in a habit already of using the wave breath every day. That's the long, slow, gradual breath. That's the breath that you're going to use through your waves. Then we've got the melt. Yes, you might have been listening to that in an audio track. Maybe you've already changed that up and you're doing it for yourself. I'm curious to know if you've given the shoulder anchor a bit of a go. Love to know if anyone's received any light touch massage and if you've played with the down breath on the toilet at all. So yeah, there's quite a few things on that list, quite a few things. So love to know what, if any, you've been up to and how's it going. And do feel free. Don't feel silly if you're like, oh my goodness, forgotten what that breath is about or forgotten what this technique is. Just feel free to ask. So yeah, anyone keen to kick off and share what you've been up to in terms of these tools in the past 10 days or so. Thanks, Nicole and John.
Hello. Yeah.
And the squeaking, it's just the dog with his toy.
Yeah.
All good. All good.
Yeah, I've had a head cold, so the first few days I couldn't breathe and it didn't really feel like a fun thing to do.
No, No.
And then, yeah, so in my morning kind of practice, I generally wake up and do breathing anyway. So I've been really intentionally doing the wave breath every day with that. Um, I've listened to the affirmations out walking. That was quite nice. And we've done the melt recording. I haven't done any of the longer ones yet, aside from the one you sent prior, but we have done the shoulder anchor twice, and John has recorded it, which has been really nice. So obviously doing the melt with that as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice work. Nice work. So how did it go with the melt, John? How did you feel about that?
Good. I've done a lot of recording of myself with recording meditations and things like that. So
Okay, so you'll be a born natural.
it's pretty familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you would be the first dad to be that I've ever taught that has said something like that. Because most of the guys are like, oh, well, not, just like, oh, do I have to do that? Or I feel quite uncomfortable. And yeah, and obviously you previously done that. So yeah, it's familiar. So it's easier, isn't it?
Yeah, and we've because we used to run teacher trainings as well, we've actually coached people through the recording of their own voice and how challenging it is to do that and how weird it feels. And so that feeling, yeah, is real normal if anyone else has recorded it and feels real awkward.
Yeah,
So
very
it's
much so.
listening
Yeah.
to your
I
voice.
would love to have a chat with you, John, outside of this space, if you
Yeah.
don't mind, if you've got anything that you can critique me on, because as I said, I've never met anyone who's had any experience in this. So if you're listening to any of my audio tracks and think, oh, she should change that, please tell me. Don't just think, oh yeah, it's a bit huckery here or whatever. Please, can you share with me? Because I always want to be improving in any way, shape, or form. And I'm really, really keen for any constructive criticism. So I'd be very grateful for that.
Okay.
Thank you. So yeah, so you've recorded the shoulder anchor,
Yeah.
and so now you can just hit play and sit there and do that.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. And also it's also means I don't have to look at the book to read the things, which is great.
Yeah.
But also I missed it the first time because I was listening rather than
I'm like, hey.
I missed the first shoulder touch because I was like away with the fairies listening to it and getting relaxed,
Yeah. So now you know that you won't do that again, probably.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And how did it feel for you, Nicole?
Yeah, good. I think, as you said, we've done so many of each other's classes. So, like for me, and especially in yoga classes, it's quite relaxing because I know his voice and I feel very safe with him. Yeah, so it's nice. I really like the shoulder tap. I can definitely see how it's beneficial and to do it more. So it's there and it's really, yeah, kind of programmed in and familiar. So I feel a bit more motivated, I guess, to do that one. Not that I think any of them aren't good, but yeah, I think that it means that John gets to be like he has something to do. Because I always think, it's such a strange experience when the father's like so involved, it's their baby, but the female's kind of doing everything, and that I can imagine it feels quite helpless. So I like the idea that, yeah, we have this thing that's special and we know we're doing it together. So
Yes.
I like it.
Yeah. Awesome. And I'm curious to know, have you changed the script much, John, when you went and recorded it? Was there a lot of changes that you made?
No, we just used it straight off the bat to start with. Yeah, and I don't think I changed anything. I might have changed something.
Which is unfamiliar because you like to change stuff.
Yeah. Might have changed something without realizing
Okay.
I changed it.
Yeah, but you haven't like totally overhauled it.
There's nothing irritating in it. And
Nah.
we get pretty irritated by these things because we're so used to like
Bad teachers.
analyzing it. But it's great, Helen. It's great.
It
Oh,
is.
so you're not irritated by anything in that script?
No.
Oh, wow, winner.
Yeah. That's like a 10 out of 10 because
I get irritated by everything.
and more irritated since she's been pregnant. So,
Oh,
It's
gosh.
true, which I didn't know was possible, but it is. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it totally is. Pregnancy hormones. I don't know. Hands up, ladies. Anyone finding pregnancy hormones like really playing havoc with you emotionally? Yes, I was like, like before I got pregnant, I hardly ever cried. How many times did I cry in my first pregnancy? Oh, it's just like, well, what's happening? So, yeah, I hear you there. I'm very, very happy that it's not irritating yet. No, it won't be. Cool. Awesome. 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 Yeah. Okay. Sounds like you guys are off to a great start. Next, to Kiara and Stefan, would you like to jump on in?
What are we doing? We've been doing the melt like every, I'd say, second night. That's kind of the thing that we enjoy doing most. The relaxed breath, have definitely used it a couple of times in traffic.
Cool.
Me, because it saves him from me calling him all the time, complaining about how someone was driving.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, so for myself, I don't know about Stefan, he can say what he wants, but yeah, for me, I've mostly been focusing on like, yeah, just breathing, visualizations, and using the meditation tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I've definitely been enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
However, yeah, I'm still yet to decide what kind of, so to say, vibe I would like for my birth because I'm not a usually some person that usually thrives under slow, relaxed music.
Mm-hmm.
So I have two playlists prepared, one that's slow and that one that's a bit more, I don't know how to say it, like not stimulating, but just like more upbeat because that's just
Yeah,
who I am and where I feel comfortable.
fair
But
enough.
yeah, but definitely like the relaxed breath and the melt has been our go-to for now. I'm sure that I'll use the down breath and the wave breath getting closer to due date time just to get more practice in, but now just focusing on, yeah, learning to relax as much as possible.
So, in terms of your playlist, because of course the hard thing is we don't know how long you're going to be in labor.
Yeah.
So if, shall we say, it was a 5-hour labor, then that upbeat one might be right for a majority of the time. But if it was a 25-hour labor, it might be that upbeat, yeah, is really good for 5 hours. But then you're like, I need something to chill out, or I need to, go down deeper a little bit, or I just need to change the pace of things. So absolutely great idea to have a couple of different playlists, and well, also be prepared for the fact you might not want music in the background at all.
I know that's the thing. I've like hired like, yeah, a pool and a tens machine, and I was just telling him, I was like, I don't know whether I'm gonna use any of this, but I'm just, yeah, I'll just have it in case I do feel like it, and if I don't use it, I don't use it.
Yeah, well, yeah, you've got all the options. And as long as Stefan, you know all the options so that you can remind at the time, do we want the tennis machine on, or do we want the pool, or whatever it might be? And yeah, or do we want what playlist do we want right now? Or should we change it if you suspect it might need
And
change?
signals ready.
Yes. Yes, totally. Awesome. Anything to add, Stefan?
No, I've been going through it all with Kiara. We've been doing it together. It's been enjoyable. I've liked it.
Cool. Awesome. Awesome. Great. Okay, next, shall we have Sophie and Spence? Do you guys want to jump on in?
Are we unmuted?
There we go. Yep.
Can you hear us?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah, we have been listening to probably a different meditation, maybe every third or fourth night. Yeah, just making our way through them, I guess, and working out which ones we like. And yeah, I personally try and use that relaxed breath most days, and same with the wave breath. Particularly at nights, I feel like I've got sleep insomnia. So I've been trying to use it then, and we haven't done any massage, unfortunately.
Next week, you're going to get 15 minutes of it compulsory, not compulsory, but you've got the opportunity, Spence, for 15 minutes of light touch next. What are we, Tuesday night? Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's been good. It's just like good to try and like remember it more regularly and use the different breath work and try and tune into those. I liked the fish one, the colors. Yeah.
Have you listened to the lavender one at all?
No, I haven't listened to that one.
That's all good. I'm going to suggest it's coming in another slide about listening to that one. as another option also. I'm curious to know, and I forgot to ask Kiara and Stefan, and I'll ask you guys, Sophie and Spence, did you guys do the shoulder anchor one at all?
No, we haven't
haven't
done
yet.
that.
It's on,
Okay.
on the list to practice. Yeah.
Yeah, on the list. And I'm going to be a little bit, shall we say, factual here. Your baby is due in around about a month, which you are very much aware of. Around about a month. So don't leave it till next month.
Yeah, no, totally.
If you think it's not your cup of tea, then all good. But if you think it might be your cup of tea, then it could be worthwhile giving it a go.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
we need to.
Yeah. Yeah. The weeks will go past fast. Kiara and Stefan, just give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Did you guys do the shoulder anchor at all? Yeah, no. On the to-do list, or what do you reckon? Yeah, on the to-do.
Yeah, I would say
Awesome.
yes. Just like, yeah, as a perspective. Like for me, I don't know. We'll give it a go 100%. But for me, I think it's more important on the day that he knows it's there. Based on how I was feeling. So I think for me, that's more important than continually practicing it, because the way it made me feel from that one time was enough to know that
okay. So you're thinking that you don't need to practice it because it's the suggestion is already embedded.
100%. Well, at least for me.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know whether he's like it's embedded in his head to like provide it, but we shall see.
Pretty easy. Pretty easy. Well,
Right.
that would be a first. I would love to know, like, I would totally encourage you to practice it, totally, because we just maybe want to get in a few more times. But if you did end up using it in labor and had exactly the same effect as you did when we were practicing, it was really, really helpful. I'd be I'd love to know that. Yeah. Helena. Or do you prefer Lena or Helena? Because I can see on your screen here.
Either the
Either,
one.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as it's not Helene, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Richard, who's at work still, and I've had a bit of a busy week. We're moving house at the moment, so we haven't done anything together, and he hasn't done anything.
No, all good.
But every night I have.
You have every night, and let's just say June, July, August, September, October. You've got at least 4 months.
We got some time.
Yeah.
So we're kind of hoping after we move house and have a bit more stability and consistency, we'll kind of come together.
Yeah.
I've been using it's number 6, the track. I don't know. I can't remember the.
I don't know. Sorry, I never look at.
And
actually, I have to confess, I haven't listened to the tracks in about 5 years, which is terrible. I really should go back and listen to them. But it's like John probably teaches people all the time. When we hear our own voice, the cringe factor is like, irritating.
Oh, yeah.
I've gotten a bit even more used to it now, but it's like I don't want to go back and listen to my tracks. So I don't know what number 6 is. Does anyone else know what number 6 is? Doesn't matter.
Don't know. Whatever it is, it's the one you sent us before the
the positive birth preparation.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one, well, it's like 20 minutes. That one is my go-to to put it on before, like while I'm in bed, ready to go to sleep. And that's I kind of add the melt to it, like whilst you're talking, because I've got quite familiar with it. I'll like. Before you get to the stairs, the kind of 10 stairs, I'm adding a melt in. Really, that's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
The short, I love the long version is great. The short version is just too short for me. I'm like, I just love the long version.
Yeah. And you've got time to enjoy that long version, more and more familiar with it, and then you can go shorter when you need it, to.
Yeah. I've still been, I think, with the relaxed breath, which is at the start of the track I've listened to a lot. I'm still, instead of doing it 4-8, I'm doing it 2-4.
Okay.
So it's like really, it's fine as soon as my head hits the pillow, even though I'm like kind of on an incline, I just can't breathe through my nose.
Okay.
So I think that one's probably better to practice sitting up somewhere. So which maybe I will be in labor more set up than lying down. So
probably more
Yeah.
likely, hopefully, ideally.
Let gravity do. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And also, so you might have some congestion, some pregnancy-related congestion, which is a really common symptom of pregnancy, just one of those things. And so therefore, often, just after being in the shower, when there's a bit of steam about, that can be a great time to practice breathing in and out through your nose, because you might find your sinuses are a bit clearer at that point.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other one I've kind of played is the down breath, which I remember. So when I'm on the toilet, I hear your voice of like, labor is like taking a big shit. Okay, Helen's in my head.
I don't say shit, I say poo.
Sorry. And I'm like, I feel like I hold my breath when I poo. So I'm trying to figure out how not to do that, which is way too much information, but
no, it's good. I mean,
I'm struggling with like how to breathe whilst defecating. That sounds crazy. Yeah. Get that technique.
Yeah. So. And once again, you've got time to play with it. So there's no major pressure on you right now. And that's where, if you can have the mentality, I'm just playing, I'm just experimenting, I'm just getting the idea of it. But I'm more than happy to have a one-on-one chat with you about all of that at another time. We see how you go. And likewise, anyone else, if they're having major issues with that and you want to talk about it one-on-one, I'm more than happy to do that. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Excellent. Oh, thank you everybody for sharing a little bit about what you're up to in terms of that practice. And as so many mums report back to me, it is the practice that you do in your pregnancy that pays off the biggest. So this is, sometimes these tools, yes, you'll use the wave breath and the relaxed breath in your labor. Yes, you might, you can use all the other ones as well, but it's doing that practice. It's listening to those audio tracks, those affirmations. It's getting all that in the background that actually really sets you up for it, just the bits and pieces coming automatically to you in labor, so you won't regret the time that you spend doing that practice. I would be keen to know, and you don't have to share this, but I'm wondering, have you thought about how you want to feel? Now, that is in the shoulder anchor exercise. I feel in 3 words of how you want to feel, and it can be worthwhile really intentionally setting those 3 words. How do you want to feel for your birth? Is it, safe, secure, calm, relaxed, capable, confident, or, thinking of what is it that would be really important for you to, and set that intention, put it out there. This is how I want to feel. Write it down in your workbook, and then get your partner to read it out as part of that, write it into the shoulder anchor exercise when you do that, because just keep on downloading that program. I feel safe, I feel confident, I feel powerful, or whatever it is. And then thinking sometimes, and that will lead you to thinking about things that you can do in a practical basis to help you feel that way. This is Sophie here in the water, and I would encourage all mums to listen to Sophie's story. Sophie's birth to Blakely is a way back, I think maybe before it got numbered, before the podcast episodes got numbered, but she was absolutely terrified of giving birth, and she did this 180 mind flip in her pregnancy, and then had this incredible, beautiful birth, and she's just had baby number 2. She emailed me last week to say that he had arrived, another incredible birth for her. So when I see this picture, I'm just thinking of how she's might be going. Lavender, you have a track on your Dropbox folder on the audio tracks. And actually, this is also I want to check. Have you downloaded the tracks onto your device? Because, cool. That's what you want to do. Don't leave it so that you're accessing my Dropbox folder to get it. You want to download them onto your device, just in case I do make some improvements and I do make some changes. And you also have access to those tracks for life, in terms of if there are any subsequent pregnancies that you want to use them for, you've got them. And if you did lose them, then all it takes is an email to me in a few years' time when you might be looking for them again, and remind me of who you are, or shall we say, I did your course in 2026. Can I have the audio tracks again? I'll send you the link. But you do want to have them downloaded right now. So there is a lovely track called Lavender, and you do have some details about this, or shall we say a wee practice script that is not a track on page 15. I just want to bring your attention to this simply because a lot of people really love the track Lavender. Now, I have to be completely upfront here. It's not my favorite one. Not at all. But there must be some magic intertwined in it because so many people say to me, oh, that was my favorite. And I listened to that in labor and I didn't listen to anything else. And I really like that one. So I'm just passing that on to you guys, just in case you haven't listened to it yet, which it sounds like you might not have. Give it a go one day because it might be a really nice one for you. And it may not be either. But I've had, quite a remarkable number of positive comments about the Lavender track. What it is, it basically takes you through a mindfulness exercise to get into a state of relaxation and focus, and then talks about the words lavender followed by drift, drift, drift being like some anchor words to take you into a deeper state, into a space of well-being, peace, comfort, and calm. Now, I also encourage you, if you like the scent of lavender, then get some essential oils. Get some lavender essential oil to use in conjunction with this exercise, and maybe to use in conjunction with any other exercises. Lavender is a natural relaxant, and it is an oil that you can use safely with baby once baby is born. And who doesn't want a nice little drop of lavender in the bath that makes baby go to sleep really nicely, or putting lavender in a diffuser, which helps settle baby. And once they get to about 2 or 3, a drop of lavender essential oils on the soles of their feet can be really helpful for toddlers who are not sleeping that great. And when my son was about 9 or 10 and he was having some sleeping issues, I put a few drops on his pillowcase, and he asked me the next morning if I drugged him. He said, did you drug me last night, Mum? Like, no, it was just some lavender oil on your pillowcase. So it can work really nice in it. You may have used it before, you may not have, but it can be really nice. Now, it's not just that it's nice and it's a nice smell, it's having a powerful impact on your brain and our sense of smell. Where we interpret smell in the brain is right next to the emotional center of our brain. Scents and smells are highly emotive and very, very easy anchors to incorporate into your practice and into your birth. An anchor, a powerful suggestion that the subconscious is recording. So let's think about what hospitals smell like, and let's think about what a birth centre might smell like. Not so bad, a birth centre, because it's, a little bit different, but still cleaning products has to be up to a certain standard of cleanliness in there, and it can be really quite nice, and especially if you were going into a hospital space, to take some type of essential oil into that space with you, whether you take a diffuser. Some birthing spaces do have their own diffusers, but I wouldn't rely on it just in case it's missing that day. Take a diffuser, or you have it mixed in with some oil in a spray bottle, or you have the scent on a pillowcase or a face cloth or a piece of material. And it can change up the feeling in the space. Now, if anyone was starting labor in hospital, so if for some reason you needed to go through an induction, I would say make sure you really set up that space with as much as you can to make it a beautiful environment. And smell can be really, really potent, really, really powerful. If your brain is registering a smell that it associates with calm and relaxation, there's your instant subconscious benefit there of the state of relaxation. So just a thought, if you do get some in the next week, or you have some with you for our session next week, we're going to do a labor simulation practice. So we're going to do, shall we say, 15 to 20 minutes in labor, in pretend labor. And Kiara, did you say that you have already got a TENS machine, or you're going to get one?
No, I will get one.
You will get one. You don't have one. Does anyone already have one? No. Okay, but that's cool. People usually don't at this stage of the game, but you can use a TENS machine with this exercise. But I'm going to ask you next week to have at least 2 handfuls worth of ice in your freezer, ice cubes. We're going to use those as our waves. And I'm going to suggest that, you get your home environment ready with smells if you want to use those, basically getting the lights dim, being in a comfortable position, comfortable space. I'll provide the music and we'll go through all the tools and techniques, but smell is another extra layer that you can add into it. And of course, this track is giving you the positive suggestions around even just the words. And on page 15, you can use the kind of like the little practice script there as affirmations, as statements, or you can use it just as an additional kind of script to add into any of your practice there. So I just wanted to draw your attention to that one. Love to know if you listen to the track next week, but between now and next week, what you think of it. So next up, we are going to start to talk about how incredible your body is. And the reason why we're going to focus on what is going right is because, of course, all too often we are program with all the things that could go wrong. And we're going to think about how incredible this process is just to start to trigger some of those thoughts in the mind. Now, Sarah J. Buckley, the legendary, shall we say, researcher, obstetrician and researcher, quote from her: birth is a peak bodily performance for which our bodies are superbly designed. They are. And she knows more than just about anyone about how well designed our bodies are. So some diagrams there, just to see. Let's look at all the internal organs that are pushed out of the way when we get pregnant. This baby here has taken up a lot of space in you, and I know that you feel that, but look at the small intestines, how they've all got to move out of the way. No wonder you're feeling a little bit of heartburn or a little bit of reflux. We've got, the pressure on the liver, the diaphragm, the stomach, all of that. And then, of course, you ladies, you feel the impact in your bladder, don't you? Because of baby jumping around. So it's quite amazing how the body can change and move. All those internal organs can kind of move around a little bit to be able to accommodate a growing baby, and your lungs get pressed up as well. And one of the interesting memories I have after my 3rd baby was born was standing up and walking down the corridor just after she was born to move into a different room and literally feeling my lungs kind of drop down. And it wasn't a horrible feeling. It was just a bizarre feeling. The space had opened up. She'd left the space, opened up, and I'm like, oh, I can breathe. Because for 9 months, I'd felt like everything had been compacted together. And yeah, it's incredible the impact that a baby has, but the ability for our babies to be able to do that. Now, it's a bit of a shame that Shanae and Kimmy Hannah aren't here, because I would ask them, is anyone here past 30 weeks? Anyone else past? Oh, Sophie, you will be. Do you know where your baby is? Do you know what position your baby is in at the moment?
Yeah, he's head down.
He's head down. Do you know where his back is?
Yeah, here on the front to my right. So
near to your right side.
Yeah.
But quite a lot on the front.
No, he's more to position on the side, his back. I think back and head down.
Yeah.
Okay. So around to the right-ish. Yeah. So at 30 weeks, your midwife starts to have a bit of a feel and starts to feel where baby is. There's no one else that's past 30 weeks here, is there? No. Yeah. So at 30 weeks, that's the time that your midwife will be just like taking a note of baby's position. Now, every LMC works slightly differently, and some LMCs talk a little bit more about positioning or a lot about positioning, and some don't talk about it much at all. And I just want to share with you here, and you have a picture in your workbook as well, about the optimal position for baby to be in. Now, baby doesn't have to be in this position, but the optimal. So this baby has got their back around to the left-hand side of mum. So Sophie, your baby's preferring the right at this point in time, and we don't know whether he's going to stay there or whether he's going to move, and he might well get really comfortable on the right, and that's okay. The good news is that his spine is around to the front of you, and that's really what we want to be aware of, because as parents, we want to be aware of our baby's position. You don't need to know anything about baby's position before 30 weeks because they're jumping around into all sorts of positions at that point in time. But at 30 weeks, starting to get just interested, or shall we say informed. Now, what happens when a baby's spine is hanging out on the left-hand side of mum, so around the front and left-hand side? What if this is the baby's spine and this is my left-hand side? What usually happens is in labor, spine comes around to the front and they drop down and out. That's the positioning. Now, if they're on the right-hand side, they can do the same thing, but they tend to go the long way. They go all the way around, and nobody knows exactly why that happens. It's just one of those things that if your baby's on the right, they might just, kind of do a much bigger turn. And so that's why the left is optimal, but the right's still okay, absolutely okay, because we don't know what they're going to do. And it can just mean, all it means, it can add a little bit of extra time to labor if baby is doing almost like a full circle. Now, the most important thing is that baby's spine is around to the front, because if the spine is around to the back, this is called a posterior position. And posterior is, you can absolutely birth a posterior baby. I do have a few episodes on the podcast of mums being able to birth posterior babies, but it can feel different. There's a lot of pressure on the spine, and lots of mums who go into labor with a posterior baby will only feel sensations in their back. They don't feel the sensations around the front. They feel the sensations around the back. So ideally, your midwife would say to you, if you feel sensations in the back when you go into labor, let me know. But not all midwives would necessarily say that. So that's why I'm saying that. If you felt all the pressure in your back, you want to be getting into some different positions. And that's why in your workbooks on page 17, you have the website there, spinningbabies.com. That could be your best friend if your baby is in a slightly different position through the last few weeks of your pregnancy. And on there, they have just a whole heap of information with exercises, positioning, and bits and pieces that you can do. And absolutely, yes, look it up in labor. If you went into labor and you felt pressure in your back, go onto that website and they will give you the positions that you need to get into to encourage baby to move around, which is a lot of on hands and knees, walking up sideways, upstairs, the curb walking that some people talk about, and kind of like a dog leg, hands and knees, and lifting one leg up and one leg up. And I will say to you that in my second pregnancy, so my big boy, Jack, he turned into a posterior position the night before I went into labor. And it was quite bizarre because I just noticed that my stomach was went kind of square, because instead of having a back there and around, it was elbows and arms and knees that were coming out. It was just this really weird feeling. And I wasn't really sure what it was. But when I went into labor early the next morning and I spoke to my midwife, she asked me what I was feeling at my back, and she told me over the phone, okay, right, get into these positions. So I spent most of that labor, hands and knees, walking sideways, legs up and down, and he did turn in labor. He did turn, luckily. Some babies will turn, some babies won't turn. And I just had two stories from a mum who both of her babies, she's a midwife, and both of her babies were born in posterior positions. And her first one was a lot harder than her second one. And what's super interesting, she only used hypnobirthing for her second labor, and she said it made just such a big difference. She had no idea that hypnobirthing stuff would make such a big difference. And the techniques that she used really helped her to be able to do that. So it's not a case for panicking if baby doesn't change positions, but it's nice to have them in a more optimal position. And it certainly makes it easier for that head to come on, down, and out if they are in an anterior position and the the top part of their head is crowning or coming through the birth canal. And as we talk about baby, thinking about baby coming down through the birth canal, let's all remember or know or learn about how soft our babies' heads are. And that is pretty cool. And I don't think that's emphasized enough. Remember, your baby's head can mold to fit the shape of you. Yeah. So we've got all these soft bony plates that can overlap and can move into different positions. So I've got a couple of pictures coming of babies, very normal looking babies that have just been born, and you'll think, oh God, that looks a bit weird. That's really normal. I've seen worse. Seen a lot worse. So this is an example of molding in a newborn. When they come down through the birth canal, their head can mold to fit the shape of your pelvis, which might mean that some of the bony plates extend out here. Now, I wish I'd taken an up close shot of my kids, or especially Jack when he was born, because his this bony plate here was overlapped, so he had kind of quite a decent ridge through the middle there, which within 24 hours your child that is maybe born with a cone head will look very normal, and you probably won't even notice the cone head. You'll be just like, oh my goodness, my baby, I'm so in love with my baby, and they will look absolutely gorgeous to you. And they change very, very quickly, as in like, yeah, those heads look far more normal, and all babies change such a huge amount over the first few weeks, months, and then years. So yes, don't panic if your baby is born with a cone head. It just means they've spent a decent amount of time in the birth canal, and it is something to be remembering as this baby's coming down through. My baby's head, or shall we say my baby's perfectly designed to fit through my body. My baby's size is perfect. I can't even remember the proper affirmation now. My baby's size is perfect for my body. Your body knows how to open and unfold. And it's thanks to this hormone here that not only your baby's head is going to fit through your pelvis, but your pelvis is literally going to open on up. Okay. And we've got a pelvis, and you've got a diagram on the slide, and we've got so many ligaments through the pelvis, through the back, through the front area here. And is anyone here noticing that they're feeling a little bit stiff? If you sit in the same position for a little while, you go to move, you feel, yeah, okay. And it doesn't feel that great. No, you feel a bit old, and yeah. Like I used to feel like I was like 150 when I was pregnant. I was like, oh, I'm so stiff. Let's reframe this. This is a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a great thing. And remember, anytime you feel stiff, it's like, yes, this is the relaxin building up through your ligaments to make everything widen, to make your pelvis expand, because it can and it will. And the front pubic bone here, which is not on my model pelvis, front pubic bone down here will shift forward. Base of your spine can shift outwards. This area here can literally open up sometimes to 15% wider than what that normally is. And it's all made to happen so that it can support the process of birth. So relaxin is building up through your pregnancy. Some of you are going to feel it and some of you aren't. If you're not feeling it, doesn't mean that it's not there. It's just you're lucky you're not feeling it. And if you are feeling it, reframe it. It's a positive thing. And so other hormones, well, we've got relaxin, and actually other things that relaxin is doing. Also, it's impacting on baby. And relaxin is going to soften all the ligaments through baby's shoulders and enable baby to be very, very flexible through this area. They usually come out head and then one shoulder, and then they do a twist and another shoulder. So they're very, very supple, very stretchy through that area. Relaxin is also responsible for weakening the amniotic sac, and it's going to smooth all the lumps and bumps in your vagina wall and kind of allow for more space in the vaginal wall so that baby can come down through and increase lubrication. So it's doing some really cool stuff. So you've got relaxin happening. You've got other hormones designed to move through your body. And this is a favorite quote from Ina May Gaskin, who is an absolute legend of a midwife for the past 50 years. And this is her little quote: mothers who are afraid tend to secrete hormones that delay or inhibit birth. Those who are not terrified are more likely to secrete in abundance the hormones that make labor and birth easier and less painful, sometimes even pleasurable. Yeah. Ina May Gaskin is the only, should we say, she's the educator that talks about the sphincter law. And I'd like to introduce you to sphincter law because it's a little bit interesting to entertain this. And if we think about sphincters in our body, the sphincters responsible for birth and elimination function best in an atmosphere of intimacy and privacy, where interruption is unlikely or impossible. So the sphincters of elimination, you've probably experienced this. Ever been out and about and you're like, oh, I kind of feel the urge, to go for a poo, or, I'm just feeling, and you go to the public toilets and they're really disgusting, really dirty, or that everyone's going to be able to hear you or whatever might that, and suddenly the desire disappears. You don't need to go anymore. Or if you've ever been hiking or tramping or camping and the long drops are so stinky that you don't want to go, your body will usually kind of like hold everything in there and the urge will go away until you get home. And the minute you get home or to a safe space, bang, it's all on. You walk in the front door and yeah, you're running for the bathroom. I don't know if any of you relate to that, but I know a lot of people do. So if we think about the fact, an atmosphere of intimacy and privacy where we feel safe, it's exactly the same for elimination that it is for birth. If you are somewhere, especially when you start labor and labor is progressing, because yes, there does come to a stage where the body takes over, but start of labor progressing, if you are in a place of feeling safe and private, it is far more likely that your body is going to continue the process and allow everything to open up. The sphincters cannot be opened at will. And the state of relaxation of the mouth and the jaw correlates to the opening of the sphincters down below. That's why we talk about relaxed jaw, relaxed pelvic floor. Laughter helps to open the sphincters. And slow, deep breathing works too. So laughter. Guys, this is where you get all your best dad jokes ready for the times that they're needed, and hope you get a laugh and not a slap around the face. But slow, deep breathing, there we go. That's the wave breath. So I just thought I would share that with you because interesting. Okay. Let's allow everything to open up. And, environment. Where do you think the sphincters are more likely to open on up? Imagine the people that might walk through that door on the right-hand side of the bright lights. I think most people would be a little bit more feeling safe and private and undisturbed in the picture on the left. We will talk a little bit more about environment next week in terms of the little things that you can do that make a huge difference, which you can probably see here. The lighting makes a huge difference. In any space, so no matter where you birth, you can make a difference to the environment. There we go. There's a hospital space, and on the right hand side, a home space. Now, they almost look similar, and that's because you can't see exactly what's happening in here because they're both dark, and darkness is your friend in labor. And all birth support people need to know this: dim, dark equals cozy, equals feeling safe, equals feeling less on show and more private. So you can make a big difference. Turning off the lights. Oxytocin loves the dark. It loves the dark. It loves it when you are feeling in a space where you will be undisturbed, uninterrupted. Oxytocin is released when we feel loved, supported, safe, and happy. I talked to a mum today about her second birth, and she said everything started on the day where she had a sleep while her 2-year-old was having a sleep. Then she woke up, she went in and got into bed next to her 2-year-old to wake the 2-year-old up, and the 2-year-old woke up and she was really giggly and she was laughing, and they just started laughing about nothing, and they were having like this total, just bursting into, she said, erupting into, tears of laughter for no good reason. They were just giggling for the sake of it. And that's when her labor started. I'm like, oxytocin release, the oxytocin build up. So laughing when we feel loved, safe, happy, supported in those types of environments, is Ina May Gaskin says, love got your baby in there, love will get your baby out. So the very same hormones that often get a baby in there are the very same hormones that we need to help a baby out. So oxytocin, the build up, the start of it, getting labor started, increasing in strength. That's what oxytocin is responsible, getting labor to increase in strength. And then apparently we get our biggest dose when baby's crowning. And that helps us to cope with the sensations of baby crowning. And we meet baby, more oxytocin there as we kind of register what we've done. And oh my goodness, we've made this and birthed this baby. Putting baby onto chest, skin to skin contact is going to increase the oxytocin, and that can help the placenta detach. And also oxytocin release when baby latches on as well. Have you all heard of oxytocin before? You're all familiar with the term oxytocin? Yeah, awesome. And then another important one that nature has given us, endorphins. Partners. Guys, how do we release endorphins into our partners? So yeah, John's got it. Yep, that's all you need, that light touch. And get that light touch going and feels good. Our body's own natural morphine happening. And next week, when we do our labor simulation exercise, guys, you're going to need to be on form. Well, if your partner likes it, 15 minutes of light touch. I do want to make a mention of supporting the perineum as well. Now, I don't know if any of you have heard about perineal massage. I am going to direct you to a page in your book, page 16, which has a picture of an opening rose on it, representing your body and your baby. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about perineal massage and then how you can get into the right headspace for this and for the crowning part of labor. And I know what people talk about, the crowning part of labor sometimes. And perineal massage is not something you need to do until around about 34 weeks. So if you want to reduce the likelihood of tearing, reduce the need for an episiotomy, which episiotomies are not done as routinely these days as they used to be done 15, 20 years ago. Episiotomy is where they make an incision and make a cut there down in the perineum. But certainly to help your body become ready for birth, a massage technique can be a nice idea. So if an intact perineum is high on your wish list, then perineal massage should be high on your to-do list. What it will do by massaging that area there increases blood flow, increases elasticity, and actually by doing it, it increases your confidence in your body to literally be able to open and unfold down below. And that's what page 16 is all about, the opening and unfolding. So the two words on top of page 16 are intentional: open and unfold. Now, I know the words that people talk about when baby gets down to that perineum, and it's nothing like opening, unfolding, and it's always those words are like, you hear it and you go, oh, and you kind of want to brace yourself against that. So we want to relax and soften into that and soften into the perineal massage if you're doing that preparation. And so therefore you've already got some tools to be able to really relax into your body. Relax breath, the melt, and then start the perineal massage, or get your partner to do the perineal massage. And when you are focused on your breathing and you've got maybe an image in your head of your body opening and unfolding, Remember, the body is a robot and the mind is the controller of the robot body. With that relaxed breath, soothing the nervous system, it is safe. It is safe for my body to open and unfold. If you really want to get in some really good visualizations, you can jump into YouTube and go opening flower. And there's a whole series of videos that have petals that are opening really fast. And that can be a really nice supportive distraction or to have a look at to help you visualize if you need help with visualizing that area, releasing, relaxing, opening, unfolding. Get it in the head. The body starts to follow. Now imagine if you did that for 5 minutes, most days from 34 weeks, increasing elasticity, increasing blood flow down there, increasing your confidence, because you know that you can relax into what is not usually the most comfortable thing to do. And I know most people don't do it because they're like, oh, yuck, I don't really want to get down there. And then a lot of mums might say, oh, well, my baby bump's a bit too big. Yes, you can do it from behind, lean from behind. And there is also in the book, there is a link to, so you've got those details in your book here. There's a link to an animated video of how to do the perineal massage that you can have a look at. And of course, there's probably heaps more than that out there as well to have a look at. And imagine when you get your mind into the space that I can do this and I can relax into it. My body is designed to open and unfold. You're doing the physical preparation, but you're also doing the mental preparation. So when baby literally does, if this is the baby's head and this is the perineum, when baby's head starts to come down onto the perineum, you're more likely to relax into it rather than tense and brace yourself against it. Release, relax, let go, allow your baby's head to come down, out, through. It doesn't usually last a long time in labor. So it's not one of those experiences that you'll feel for a long time, but it is absolutely correct to use the word intense. It's nothing you can't handle, but yes, it is intense. Like any body part, if we put a lot of pressure on it, so a lot of pressure, it often goes numb. So that's quite often what happens when you put a lot of pressure down there, it does go numb. But if you're thinking open and unfold, you're going to be supporting the process rather than resisting the process. So just a thought, just an idea to think about and consider. Yeah, there's the, you'll find that in the book, the vaginal self-stretch video. Anyone got any questions? Or anyone like to add anything? Anything that you might have learned or heard or? Okay, so those are just some bits and pieces to keep getting our head in the game. Your body is designed to do this. Your baby is the perfect shape and size for your body. Your body knows how to open and unfold. And if you've been listening to the affirmations, you will find that those are familiar statements. Let them become more and more familiar. Okay, question for you. Has anyone been in any noisy environments recently and noticed your baby moving differently? Anyone been out clubbing? I'm sure you haven't, I'm joking. Anyone been to like an engagement party or a wedding or a business meeting where there are loads of people there, or a conference or a shopping mall or anywhere, or movies? No. You don't get many people going to the movies these days. 10 years ago, I could count on at least one couple in the group had been to the movies, but people don't go to the movies anymore. Anyone had any renovations going on at home with different noises? No. Anyone been playing any music loudly? Yeah. Kiara? Yeah. Kiara, do you notice if you put music on really loud, does baby start to groove with you?
She loves it.
She loves it, yeah.
There we go.
For some reason, the top tune to listen to is Michael Jackson's "They Don't Care About Us."
Oh, well, she's chosen a really good artist.
I know, but like,
and has anyone been to the movie? Have you guys been? Apparently, it's a really good movie. Apparently, his latest movie is a really good one to go to.
my parents went. We haven't gone and seen it yet. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's what inspired me. I was like, oh, I just see Michael Jackson stuff all the time. And I was like, in the morning, just getting ready for work, and I'm just playing like heaps of different songs. But that one, she just started moving, and we've tested it a couple other times when like I've been like, is she there? She hasn't moved in a bit, and you just play the song.
Oh, that's her song.
It's her
No,
song.
not greatest lyrics, but hey,
I
great
know.
song. Um,
Like the rhythm.
they don't care about us. My parents don't care about me, no. Okay, so you've noticed that. Okay, she is responding to that. And she literally is, because all of our babies from 23 weeks on, hearing is developed enough for them to respond to the outside world. So, Lena, I can't remember if you are past, you probably not past 23 weeks yet. No. So that's coming soon. So you can listen to all the loud stuff now. Then notice what baby does. So after 23 weeks, now, of course, your baby is listening to you full time, ladies, full time. They cannot escape. They're listening to everything all the time. So they're totally going to recognize your voice when they are born, because they're memorizing it. It's downloading, totally downloading. Guys, dads, absolutely. Familiar voices, as long as you are vocal, they're going to be listening to you as well. But what I want to share with you here is some of the science around understanding what baby is learning and how baby is developing mentally and emotionally in the womb, because a lot of the information often focuses on the physical. But this book here is one of my favorite books. It's on my recommended reading list. It's available in the libraries. Windows to the Womb, Revealing the Conscious Baby from Conception to Birth. So here, there's a couple of scientists, and David Chamberlain was the world's leading researcher into prenatal psychology. He, in fact, with his colleague, Dr. Thomas Verney, they started the whole science, that movement, or shall we say, learning about the science. They were one of the first researchers in it, because nobody could study a live baby in the womb prior to the 1980s. Does anyone know why? Can anyone guess why? Why couldn't we study a live baby in the womb before 1980s? That's not a trick question. Anyone got any thoughts? Nobody was having scans. You couldn't get an ultrasound scan. There were no such thing as ultrasound scans on pregnancies. So yeah, I don't know whether you have talked to your mums about whether they had a scan when they were pregnant with you. In New Zealand, scans came in the late 1980s. Maybe if you were lucky, you got one. A lot of mums still didn't until the 1990s. The technology. Now, hands up, who's had a scan? Who's had a scan in their pregnancy? Yeah, keep your hands up if you've had more than two. Yeah. Okay. And quite often, depending on reasons and things like that, there can be multiple scans for a pregnancy. And we can know a lot about our babies before they're born. I'm not going to go down the debate whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, because sometimes it's not so good and sometimes it's really good. But the fact is, we do have that available to us. The technology improvements in the last 10 years are incredible. Like what you guys see on the screen is nothing like what I saw on a screen when I was having my kids. Like I was absolutely blown away when I went to a scan just a couple of years ago. I could not believe how clear they are. It's absolutely incredible. And I've seen some 4D scans as well, which are just mind blowing. So shall we say scientists, researchers learnt a lot in the 1980s about what was actually happening in the womb for these healthy, growing live babies. And what I love is the fact that they confirmed most of what was the old wives' tales. Most of those were confirmed by science at that point in time. It's like, yes, the mums knew, the ladies knew all the time. And yeah, this book here is a really interesting insight into a whole lot of findings and a whole lot of stories from children and adults as they talk about experiences that they can remember from being in the womb that are able to be proven. But shall we say, yes, it talks about physical development, but also mentally and emotionally what babies are learning and growing. And basically, it's never too early to form the basis of a relationship that will last for the rest of your lives. In the back of your folders, you do have some pages there called Your Smart Little Baby. And yes, there is a decent chapter in the book about this topic. I could talk about this topic all day and all night. I think it's absolutely fascinating. I have read as much stuff that I can get my hands on about this topic. And so therefore I'm giving you a really quick summary. And if it's something that tickles your fancy, then, go down the route of the other extra resources that I've put in those pages in the back of your workbooks. And also this, that chapter in your book. And I just want to go over some of the points, some of the main points, which is really nice to know. And that is your baby's listening to you. Your baby's going to recognize you by your voice alone, because babies don't see very well when they're first born, but they can hear. And they will know when they are safe because they can hear your voice and they can hear your heartbeat. And they can also smell you. And yes, you can do some experiments, just like Kiara's doing with certain songs in your pregnancy, to see what baby is enjoying. Point number 1 on Your Smart Little Baby, which comes from David Chamberlain's research, says that where is it? Babies, they played a range of music to babies. Babies seem agitated by rock music, kicking violently when they hear it, and are calmed by classical music. Even the 5-month-old preborn baby has been found to have discriminating musical ears. In one study, kicking babies calmed to the sounds of Vivaldi, but became agitated in response to Beethoven. Now, you don't have to play those genres of music. You can play your Michael Jackson versus your whatever else you want to put on, or put on different genres of music and see what baby likes and see what baby grooves to, just for fun. And obviously, if you want baby only to like the music that you like, then you'll only play that. And that's all that they will become accustomed to until they're old enough to find their own. Point number 2, studies to show that babies can be taught to kick in utero. And what happened was they trained these babies, just like, I don't know if you know the study on Pavlov's dogs, which were trained to salivate at the ring of the bell. These researchers made baby kick by making a loud noise, and then they placed a vibration on mother's abdomen immediately following the noise. And then the smart little babies learned to associate the vibration with the kicking, and would kick in response to just the vibrator. So your baby is learning. Your baby is making connections in the womb. Number 3, understand what your preborn baby may sense. They can perceive different tastes and different sights, add a sweetener to the amniotic fluid, and babies will double their rate of swallowing. So when you eat sweet stuff, your baby notices it. When you eat sour stuff, your baby often slows their swallowing down. Now, they know that they like sweet breast milk. They don't want all the sour stuff, but it's okay. You can totally eat it. And in fact, eating a huge range of foods in pregnancy can be a really good idea, so that your baby is learning different tastes. I'm going to go to here. This is really worthwhile having a look at. This is a TED Talk done a number of years ago. I think it's probably 2011, but the science hasn't changed. And Annie Murphy-Paul's a researcher, and it's like 16 minutes of your life that is really worthwhile. And they did a study on the flavors of what mother eats in the amniotic fluid. There was a group of mums who received a cup of carrot juice to consume every day in their 3rd trimester. Another group just had water. And when babies were old enough to eat at 6 months of age, the infants who had been exposed to the carrot juice in pregnancy ate more cereal mixed with carrot juice and were happier with the taste than the group who did not. And what they're basically making the assumption is that is a survival technique, because babies are going to become familiar with the flavors that you consume in your pregnancy to know what is safe for them to eat. Now, therefore, eat a wide range of foods. Your baby will be happy with a wide range of foods until they turn 2. This is just my personal experience here. At 2, they decide they only like certain types of foods and they'll refuse to eat anything else. And at 3, they usually come a little bit back online, and by 4, they're better again. And that's totally not correct for all babies, but that has been a familiar experience for a lot of people. Okay, Where are we now? Point number 4, 5, and 6 in your workbooks. Understand what your preborn baby may think. Here they talk about, can a baby form attitudes about life even before birth? Yes. If so, do a pregnant mother's thoughts influence the emotional life of her preborn baby? Prenatal researchers believe that there is some connection between what a mother thinks and how her baby feels. From 6 months on, a preborn baby can share mother's emotions via the hormones associated with them. So the research, and I know there's been a lot of research done into this, the long-term effects of your emotional life and the stress hormone link. This has been studied extensively. A summary from what I have read, some stress is really good. The ups and downs of ordinary life is exposing your child to realistic, ordinary life. Long-term severe, and so chronic severe anxiety or stress can, not always will, but can impact on a baby. In the book, I use the example from the Canterbury earthquakes in 2011, 2012. And what happened there was a significant period of time where there was significant earthquakes and aftershocks. I don't know if any of you guys remember it because it's a long time ago now, but I significantly remember teaching pregnant mums around this time and just thinking, oh my God, thank goodness we're not in Canterbury. Thank goodness we're not in Christchurch. And you're talking about a lot of fight and flight, especially you get a big earthquake, you get loads of aftershocks. Certain areas were impacted a lot more than others. And what happened was 5 years down the track, when the kids who were in utero during that period of time, so it went on for a long time, it went between September 2010 to March, thereabouts, end of February, March 2011. And it went on for a significant amount of time. And people that were in the worst affected areas, 5 years later, their kids are all going off to school. So we get a large group of kids born around the same time, all coming together for the first time. And what they noticed was that they had the biggest group of dysregulated 5-year-olds that they'd ever seen in a couple of schools in the areas that were affected the most. And they were, holy moly, kids that were the most kids that had toileting issues, had kind of like nervous issues, anxiety issues, behavioral issues. And they realized that these were the kids that were impacted hugely by their parents' stress through that time in utero. And the good thing is that those kids got help and that they recognized it, because of course it's all about rewiring the brain and teaching them tricks, tips, breathing techniques, regulation techniques to help soothe their nervous system, because they were kind of born into a world where it was normal to be on this fight or flight state. And that's a really overall summary of the situation, but it was an example that was used as experiences where mothers were subjected to large amounts of stress in their pregnancy, and bearing in mind that all kids were different and some weren't affected much at all. Why I'm sharing this with you is understanding that, and it's not to say that you can prevent yourselves from being in certain stressful situations, but knowing how, if you are dealing with stressful situations, knowing that you can soothe your nervous system at the end of a hard day or in the middle of a stressful situation, using that relaxed breath, using that melt just for starters. And I'm sure like Nicole and John could probably wax lyrical on about the techniques that they have used and taught in yoga and breath work and stuff like that, as examples of helping people get back into that parasympathetic, the healing state, as opposed to that fight or flight state. And in your pregnancy, it's just, you're carrying in this other person who is starting to learn about life. Please don't stress out about being stressed. But if you notice that you are stressed, use the tools, because your baby is feeling it. And what you're teaching your baby is, we've had a really rough day, or maybe we've had a really rough week, but I know that you're in there. You're loved, you're wanted. Let's relax. It is safe for you to be relaxed right now. And your babies are feeling it. And they know. So every time you do that practice, it's not just necessarily for you. It's for your baby as well. Your babies are feeling it. And babies that are exposed to these relaxation techniques through your pregnancy are going to come out into the world knowing that it's safe to be relaxed. What a nice thing to teach them. And we also know that life is not full of, life is not usually a straight line in terms of, we often have these challenges which cause, emotional ups and downs. And that's what will be happening through your pregnancy as well. But when you need to use your relaxation stuff. So I've talked about, just some more fascinating learnings from Annie Murphy-Paul. Babies cry in the accent of their mother's native language. Babies will recognize a theme song of a TV program that the mother had watched every day. Your baby's going to come out, Kiara, singing Michael Jackson. Maybe you would.
No, I'm more worried about the fact that I'm Macedonian and I'm Slavic, so crying in my accent in my native language, it's not on the list of goals.
Guess what? It is what it is.
I know. I just feel bad for Stefan. I'm loud enough. So.
This was, they compared French versus German, not your culture versus anything else. So, hey, who knows? But yes. What I'd love to do right now is to give you guys an opportunity to connect in with your baby tonight. We're going to do a little exercise. It's not a deep relaxation, but I'm going to say absolutely feel free to turn your cameras off. Feel free to turn the lights off in the background. Feel free to make yourself comfortable. We're going to do some breathing. We're just going to do kind of like a little guided imagery exercise, connecting in with baby, maybe giving you the opportunity to think about baby's life from a different perspective, gain a different perspective. And dads, this is definitely for you as well to be able to do. And sometimes it might feel right because you can't feel baby inside of you. If it feels right, placing your hand on baby, on your partner's stomach, if that feels all right for everyone, and starting to connect in that way. So I am just going to pop some music on. So I just want to make sure that you can now. I'm wondering, can you hear the music in the background? And if you can't, let me know. Oh, you can, cool. I've seen the thumbs up. Awesome. And you can still hear my voice. So if you have any issues, if you can't hear my voice and you can't hear the music, please let me know. And I'll assume everything is all okay. And all you need to do right now is make yourself comfortable. And when you're ready, closing down your eyes and starting to focus on your breath and your breathing. And of course, this is the perfect time to use your relaxed breath. Breathing into the count of 4, breathing out to the count of 8, or anything similar to that. Just taking your time, in your own time, sending that message to your body. It is safe to release, relax, and let go. And then turning your attention inwards to your baby and just focusing on the idea of this growing baby inside their little home in here. Then just start to imagine, pretend, or just get the idea of actually being your baby, of floating around in the womb. And from here, you can start to allow yourself to experience a new or different perspective. because it can be highly beneficial for baby if you can experience even vaguely what he or she experiences. Just start to imagine that as your baby, safe and warm in here, you listen to your surroundings and experience your mother's day-to-day life, her feelings, her emotions, and reflect for a few moments on how you feel as a baby about to be born into your family. Notice how loved you feel. Do people talk to you and about you frequently and lovingly? What kind of world will you be arriving into? How calm or chaotic will it be? What kinds of sounds, music, noises do you live with? What kinds of experiences are you having and learning about now? And now imagining that you have come into this world from the safety, warmth, and comfort of that soft, dark, floating place inside your mother. Imagine how it feels to have no ability to categorize or structure what you see and hear. You simply have a wordless vulnerability. You are a bundle of intense yet diffused bodily sensations. Skin so amazingly delicate. Hearing so incredibly acute. With an overwhelming need for closeness and touch. Now imagine what it is like to be surrounded by the cold glare of bright lights, to be jarred by the harsh sound of loud noises, to have rough textures on your skin, and the feeling of someone rushing to get you dressed. Of not being understood. And now as a baby, imagine being rocked by a pleasant, regular rhythm. Feel the wonderful security of being embraced by protective and loving arms. The familiarity of listening to a regular heartbeat, the sounds of known voices. Feel the bliss, the happiness of receiving your mother's milk, the comfort of loving eyes looking at you. Let affection and warmth infuse you. No words are necessary. And as you imagine yourself as your baby, you are connecting with this little soul with a greater understanding. And for mums, the understanding that together the two of you can work harmoniously through this pregnancy and birth experience. Your baby has chosen you as their parents. Your baby trusts you. Your baby knows that you are doing the best job in every way you can to facilitate their development and arrival into the world. Growing and birthing a baby is truly one of the greatest transformational experiences in life. And it's time to feel into your body's innate wisdom now. Time to feel into the knowing. And to feel into the love that you have for your baby. And as you feel the love, you might like to take a moment to thank your baby for choosing you, to thank your baby for coming to you. And if there's any other special messages you wish to pass to baby, just silently send these now. And then when you're ready, taking your time to slowly come back into the room. And when it feels right, opening your eyes. Welcome back. And if you're happy to turn your camera back on, that'd be great, just so that I know that you're still with us. We're going to take a break very soon. But I just want to mention that exercise could be described as a, inverted commas, bonding exercise, although there's certainly other very simple bonding exercises that you can do with baby, which might just be things that you naturally feel inclined to do. Rubbing your belly, patting baby, talking to baby. Some of you might have a nickname for baby. There might be times as you start to feel later on in your pregnancy, feel an elbow or a knee or a foot or whatever it might be, you're rubbing that spot, and you might be, I don't know, talking to baby, singing to baby, whatever it might be. All of these are beneficial in the way that the science says, or shall we say the researchers state. And I love this because they've so many different things that I've read, they all come to the same conclusion. It doesn't matter what you do. It does not matter what you do. What matters is that what happens is whatever you do to connect with your baby, it's about sending that message to baby, hey, we know you're in there, you're loved and you're wanted. And that is all that your baby needs, to know that they're in there, they're loved and wanted. And that's all. So however you decide to do that, let's just say there's no right, there's no wrong. And yeah, there's some really interesting stuff that you can read in that book, Windows to the Womb, if you do end up deciding to have a read of it. There's all sorts of stories of children who talk about remembering incidences and things from being in the womb, which is just super fascinating. And like, just an example, one little boy's telling his mum about when he went to Italy, and she's like, "Oh, you haven't been to Italy?" He goes, yes, we went to Italy. We went on the train. And we stayed in the hotel with the pool. And he started to describe this. She goes, "But you weren't there." She goes, "I was pregnant with you, but you weren't there." He goes, "I was there. I remember it." And it wasn't like he'd seen any photos or they'd ever talked about the trip. Super interesting. And there's all these interesting studies that they've done on babies, or shall we say children and adults remembering their birth. And That's very interesting as well. So in the 1980s, when the two leading prenatal researchers, Dr. David Chamberlain and Thomas Verney, decided that they wanted to know more, they used hypnosis regression techniques with adults to take them back to the time of around the time of their birth to see what they could remember. And yeah, it was incredible, the details and the little things that these adults could remember from the time of their birth. And I want to share this with you because it's very interesting, because the common theme came, and they did this study in the 1980s. So they were working with adults who were born 1940s, 50s, 60s, born in hospitals. The common theme that came from their memories of being born was abandonment. And that was because in those days, the system, you went into the hospital, you birthed your baby was taken away by a nurse, put into a nursery with a whole bunch of other babies, and then was only brought back to mum for scheduled feeding times. Could you imagine the noise? Imagine the state of the place. Imagine these unhappy babies. So the memories of these adults of birth was, where's my family? Where's my mum? I don't belong here. I'm in a room full of babies, and basically this feeling of abandonment. So it was super, super interesting that. Now, of course, your babies are not going to experience that because that's not the system anymore. Thank goodness. And it's so fascinating to read about what they did in the 1960s and 70s. I had a checklist of all the things that a new mum was allowed or not allowed to do. You can't smoke on the bed. You have to smoke off the bed. Your children your baby will be brought to you at 6 a.m., 9 a.m., 12 noon, 3 o'clock, and 6 o'clock. And that's the only time you're allowed to feed them. And there's all these, I can't remember the other ones. I've got it tucked away somewhere, but it's just crazy. And yeah, so the memories there, obviously your children, your babies are going to be on you, with you. They know that you're near, and that is a good thing. So has anyone got anything they'd like to ask or add about that exercise or this topic?
Just like an interesting fact, I was one of the kids that I just randomly told my mom one day that I remember a situation from when she was pregnant with me, and she was like, "What?" So
tell us. Do you mind telling us more?
Yeah. So I don't know how old I was, but like I pretty much just told my mom, like, I remember when you were pregnant with me, and she was like, "What do you mean? There's no way." And I specifically described a situation with like a dress that she was wearing, and she was at the park, and she was with these people and walking down the specific path. And my mom was like just shocked because she remembers going there while she was pregnant with me. So
that's cool.
There's truth to it.
Oh, yes. And thank you for sharing, Kiara. I love that. A couple of years ago, I had a mum share a story as well, and this was from a previous pregnancy of hers. So she was doing hypnobirthing in her second pregnancy, which was 14 years apart. So she had a 14-year-old at home, and she was having her second baby, and this 14-year-old had told her when she was 3 about a memory that she had. And I actually got Jasmine, this is the mum, I got her to have a separate conversation with me on Zoom so that we could record it. So I do have it on YouTube if anyone wants to see it or listen to it, the story. And what happened was, she was in her pregnancy, she was living in Australia, and she was walking down a rural road to get home, and she found all these $100 bills all over the road. So she found a whole lot of money, and she picked it up. She didn't know what to do with it. She went to the nearest house and just said, "Hey, have you guys lost a whole lot of money?" And they said, "No." And the owner just said, "Look, it's yours. It's yours. Keep it." And she felt really, really bad about keeping it, but it was very, very useful for her at the time. So she never told a single soul about the money. And when her daughter was 3, she said, "Hey, mum, remember the time in Australia where you found all the money?" And Jasmine goes, she just went, "What?" She said she just had the whole shivers. She just, what? And her daughter goes, "That was the day that I chose you to be my mummy." Cute. You can take it with a grain of salt. I know Kiara's going to totally believe it because she was the child who came out with the memory, and it's often before 5. It's often before 5, because you have the language from 3. You have the language to be able to share these things, and at 5 we usually lose it. And at the moment I've got a 3.5-year-old granddaughter, so I've been kind of like something. I was just last week. So do you remember being mum's tummy? She's like, blah, blah, blah. No. And then she's right straight on to the other topic. And like my kids, I couldn't get a single thing out of them. I did get a 5-year-old. I was taking 3 5-year-olds to a gymnastics class years ago. And I remember saying something and something came up was relevant. And I said, hey, Lucas, do you remember being in your mum's tummy? He goes, yes, I do. And I remember it was like this and this and this. And I'm like, cool. And I didn't question him too much more than that because it's not my child. And I, anything like that. But he was totally, the others are like my kids were like, no, and then changed the subject, or, I tried to lead them down. Yeah, no, some kids you'll get something out of, some you won't. Wait and see. But yeah, interesting. Where do memories start? Where do they end? They don't debate it in the book. They just use science. Well, they just use proof of what they've got. Okay, let's take a break. Let's take, shall we say, 5 minutes or so, to around about 5 minutes if you need to use the bathroom. We're going to come back and get into a deep relaxation exercise. So most of you look like you're fairly comfortable where you are. If you're not, please feel free to make yourselves more comfortable. But when we come back, I'm going to explain how the fear release exercise works, and then you can turn your cameras off and hopefully not go to sleep. That's the idea. Don't go to sleep and get into a nice relaxed state. So I've got 8:39 on my clock. Let's come back at 8:45. Does it sound all right? Okay. Hopefully you're all back. What we're going to move on to now is an exercise to help you work with any doubts, any concerns, any worries, any fears, which hopefully you may have had a little bit of a think about between the time that we first met and now. And if you feel that you don't have any, it's still a really good reason to do this exercise, because quite often, if there isn't any, so your subconscious will bring up one. And also, I need to let you know, don't be surprised. Sometimes what can happen is you go in with the intention of working with certain things, and there can be some other things that feel more important that your subconscious will bring up to you. So the very fact that you've had a little bit of a think about it is putting the intention out there, and then the subconscious is going to do the rest. How this process works. I don't even need to explain this to you, but I do want to explain it to you just to make you feel comfortable with it. What we're going to do is we'll go through the relaxed breath, the melt, and take you down to a favorite place in nature. So it's going to help you start to focus your attention on somewhere that feels safe for you, a place that might be a familiar place. It might be somewhere that you go to now, you went to as a child, or just a figment of your imagination. And that gets the conscious mind quite involved in being that space. And from there, you can rest in that space, knowing that it's very safe for you, and we take you down deeper. So we'll talk about going further down into a healing space. And in that healing space, wherever that may be, there is a special photo album there for you. And in that photo album is a record of your life, your history, your beliefs, your ideas, your experiences. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what's in that photo album, or shall we say there's a whole lot of images in that photo album. And I say the word image, I don't say the word picture, the word image. There's images in those pictures, because some of those images might be beautiful colored pictures, or you may see them that way. Some of them might just be black and white. Some of them, these images might be just a number, a letter, or a faint fuzzy blur. It doesn't matter what appears on the page. What we are going to direct your subconscious to do is find a page that contains a fear, doubt, concern, or worry that you want to get rid of. And you will find a page with any type of image in it. Don't expect it to have to look like anything in particular. We're also going to talk about the feeling. So this might sound like it's quite a visual process, but if you're not a visual person, it still works very, very well. It's just the idea of, or maybe it's the feel of it, or the sensation, and I'll talk about hearing things as well. And we're going to change this image. So I'll take you through the step-by-step process of working with this image that appears that represents your thought, your concern, your doubt, your worry that you'd like to work with. So I'll talk you through that process of changing the image and actually taking that page out of your book. And then I will take you through the process again. So I'm going to describe twice how to work through this process. Now, your subconscious works very, very quickly. And sometimes it might be that by the time I've finished describing what to do, your mind's raced off and just done it. But I will go back and describe it again. So I'll take you through the process twice, and then I'm going to give you a few minutes to work with any other images in your book that you would like to get rid of. And I'll give you that time and that space to do that. Remember, your subconscious works quickly. Please don't come to this exercise with 10 fears that you want to release if there's that many. 3 or 4 might be tops. Know that if you need to work with others again, you will have access to a recording to be able to go through this process again. And then once we have worked with those images, we're going to work with the pages that you've taken out of your book, and then we're going to go back and create for you a success scene. And this can be quite nice. We don't have to talk about exactly how your birth goes, but we're going to talk about meeting your baby, and we're going to give you some thoughts, ideas, positive suggestions around that. We're also going to move into what's known as an empowering part of the script. So if there's ever been a time in your life where you have felt disempowered or you've given your power away to anyone else, we're going to reclaim that. And then we're going to come back into the room if you choose. I don't need to see you after this, because if you get too kind of like caught up in this and you get to the end and you're like, oh, I just want to drift off to sleep, or I just want to end the session, or I just want to time to process what we've just been through, or whatever it might be, you don't need to come back into this space afterwards. What I will do at the end is talk about, if you'd like to come back into the space, I'll count from 1 up to 5. You'll hear my count. But if you want to just drift off deeper, you can do that, and I will see you next week. And so therefore, before we start this exercise, I need to remind you, yes, we're meeting again next week. And please, can you come to the session with at least 2 handfuls worth of ice cubes in your freezer? Don't join the session with ice cubes because they'll melt before we need them, but in the freezer, and being in a space probably similar to what you are in tonight, a space where we can do this. We're going to do a practice labor scenario. So dim lighting, some smells if you want them, and just the opportunity to be able to be comfortable and receive light touch, which might mean that you might have a Swiss ball handy, or you might have cushions and pillows to kneel on the floor and lean over the couch. So that's what we need for our session next week. Just going back to the fear release exercise, I'm just looking at some points here. I've told you, yeah, it sounds like a visual exercise, but just the idea is enough. Oh, if you do feel like you're drifting off to sleep in this and you want to stick with me, then all it requires is for you to bring your attention back to my voice and what I am saying, and the music that will be on in the background. The idea is not to be going off to sleep. So if you are in this beautiful, comfy position, you think, oh, I could drop off to sleep, it might be better being upright and having some support for your head, but I'll let you be the judge of that. Partners, yes, this exercise is absolutely valuable and valid for you. There are, however, some references to birthing a baby. You know that's not you. You know that you're going to be there to support your partner. So you'll know you'll just filter out anything that's not relevant to you as a male birth support person. But absolutely, you can get heaps out of this exercise for any types of fears, concerns, doubts, worries, anything related to this stage of life. And yeah, I think that's about it. Has anyone got any questions? Anything that anyone would like to ask before we get started?
Roughly how long is it?
Roughly 45 minutes.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. 45 minutes. Okay, I'm going to pop the music on again. And all you need to do is make yourselves comfortable and enjoy. And you're welcome to turn your cameras off. So just allowing your eyelids to softly close. And take a moment to place your awareness on your breath and your breathing. And of course, this is the perfect time to use your relaxed breath. So whenever you're ready in your own time, using that relaxed breath in for 4, out for 8. 3 beautiful breaths to send that message to your body. It's time to release, time to relax, time to let go. And after those breaths, just breathing at your own pace, breathing comfortably, breathing easy, noticing all the sounds that you can hear from both inside and outside of the room. Just know that if there should be any sudden or loud noises, they won't bother or disrupt you. They'll just fade into the background. And if for any reason our internet connection got cut off tonight, no matter what stage of the process we are in, you will be able to bring yourself back to a state of full awareness. And now, as I count backwards from 5 down to 1, you'll be able to easily send a beautiful wave of relaxation all the way down through your body. Starting with number 5, your eyelids becoming heavier, cheeks softer, mouth, jaw loose and limp. 4, you soften your shoulders and imagine a sense of relaxation like a mist or a liquid drifting and floating down through your arms into your hands. And as I say 3, with every breath now, you soften through your chest, through your stomach, and all of the way down through your back, all the way down. 2, just imagining that relaxation is drifting and floating, melting through your hips, lower back, lower abdomen, the tops of your legs. And 1. As you completely release, you soften your lower legs, ankles, feet, toes, whole body soft, whole body relaxed. From head to toe, you're sinking deeper and deeper with every breath you take. And now with your body relaxed, you're more aware of your mind. Imagine now that your mind is like the sky, wide, vast, open, a beautiful blue sky with a number of soft, white, fluffy clouds gently floating by. Those clouds represent any outside thoughts that might be creeping into your mind. And so now get the idea of a gorgeous breeze blowing those clouds away so that your mind is clear, focused, free. This beautiful blue sky, your mind, clear of all outside thoughts. And you can start to imagine or pretend that you are under this beautiful blue sky at a favorite place of yours. This might be somewhere from your childhood. It might be somewhere that you go to now. It could be a figment of your imagination. This is your place. A place where you feel safe and secure. Somewhere where you can just be you. A place where you can be alone and yet never feel lonely. A space where you can release, relax, and let go. This is your place. And as you find yourself here, notice the temperature of the air or the warmth of the sun. It is the perfect temperature for you. Listen to the different sounds. Notice what it is that you can hear. Breathe in any smells or any scents in the air. Look down at yourself and observe what it is that you are wearing. And what is the texture of whatever you are standing, sitting, or lying on? What does that feel like? This is a very safe space for you to allow your conscious mind to rest. And you are ready now to go further within, into the core of your inner wisdom and knowingness. I'm going to count from 10 down to 1. And as I do, you will feel yourself going within. 10. Releasing, relaxing more with each and every breath. 9. Drifting deeper, turning towards your inner self. 8. Softening into who it is that you are. 7. Gently moving down inside yourself. 6. Connecting into your inner essence, whatever you sense that to be. 5. Moving down into your place of wisdom. 4. Sensing the core of your inner knowing. 3. Moving to the place where your knowingness will reveal to you the strength and confidence that you seek to gently and easily bring your baby into the world. 2. Now at the level of your inner being. And 1. You are now at one with your inner being and have reached your own special place of power. That power that's been within you always. And within your inner being, you have access to a special healing space. A beautiful space filled with your favorite healing colors, your favorite furnishings. Maybe there are elements from nature, plants, flowers, water. Just take a moment to soak up the atmosphere and notice what is around you here. In this space, just for you, is a very special seat. So move to this seat and make yourself comfortable. By your side is a large white book. This book has your name embossed in gold on the front. And you understand this book is like a special photo album. It contains the history of your life and your beliefs within it. This album contains images representing your experiences, thoughts, ideas, and beliefs as they are recorded in your innermost mind. Overall, there's a lovely collection of images. But some of these images represent experiences that may have planted seeds of doubt in your mind. Some images represent fears, worries, concerns you may have about the rest of your pregnancy, your birth, and maybe postpartum life with baby. Some images may represent other people's stories, things that people have told you, information you've gathered, unhelpful comments that friends have shared with you. You know what they are. It's time to open this book and flick through the pages. And as you do so, your subconscious is ready to bring to your attention the right images on the right pages that you are ready to release. The images that no longer serve you. And your subconscious reveals the first page to you now. Something related to this time in your life, relating to pregnancy, birthing a baby, or being a parent. And as you find that page, I want you to pause and really see what is in this image. That's right. Pause. Look at it. See it for what it is. Acknowledge this image. Notice the feelings surrounding this image, the thoughts, the emotions. Listen to any sounds. Because you are in a place of power right now, you have the power to change this image. Now, attached to this page is an old-fashioned dial, like an old radio or TV dial. And you have the ability to make changes to this page with this dial. So reach out now, turn that dial up, and automatically the image becomes brighter and more colourful. It becomes clearer, more defined. Allow it to also get bigger and larger, as well as brighter and clearer. Any noises become louder. And because you have the power now to change this image, and because this image, this thought, this idea, belief, or experience no longer serves you, it's now time to turn that dial right down. And immediately, all the colour disappears from the image. See it becoming grey, dull, lighter, fuzzier, and now it's shrinking into the page, becoming so blurry, more and more fuzzy, fainter, dull. Any noises fading to silence. This image is now tiny, hard to even notice on the page, all the feelings, all the emotions are being absorbed by the clear texture of the page. And now all that's left is a blank page. It's time to tear that page right out of your book. That's right, tear it out. Crumple it up and put it to one side. And now you are ready to find other images that you are ready to release. Other images that no longer serve you. So flick through the pages of your book, and your subconscious reveals an image, or an image simply appears, and you can repeat the process. Stop. Pause. Really acknowledge what's on that page. See, sense, feel what's in that image. Notice the feelings surrounding that image. Notice the thoughts, the emotions. Listen to any words or sounds. And remember, because you are in a place of power right now, you have the power to change this image. Use the dial on this page. Reach out. Turn it right up. And this image becomes brighter, more colourful, clearer, more defined. That's right. Let it get bigger. Bigger and larger, as well as brighter, clearer. Any noises become louder. And because you have the power now to change this image, and because this image, this thought, this idea, belief, or experience no longer serves you, it's time to turn down that dial. Turn it down. All the colour is disappearing. See it become grey, dull, lighter, fuzzier, and now it's shrinking into the page. It's all becoming so blurry, fuzzy, fainter, dull, any noises fading to silence. It's continuing to shrink. That image becoming tiny, hard to even notice on the page. All the feelings, all the emotions being absorbed by the clear texture of the page. And now that all that's left is a blank page. You can tear that page right out of your book. Crumple it up. Put it to one side. And now you can keep searching. You can take your time. Continue to find any other images that no longer serve you. Remember, you have the power to work with them and then to tear the pages out of your book. You know the process. You know how to do this. I will leave you for a few minutes to do this work. Know that your subconscious works quickly. Just getting ready to complete your work now. And as you have completed your work for this evening, it's time to gather up those crumpled pieces of paper that you've ripped out of your book. And as you gather those wads of paper together, you notice that just over there is a small fire burning. You can hear the crackling of the flames. Move over to the fire. It's time to throw those pieces of paper into the fire one by one. Notice the different coloured flames, yellow, orange, red, and how the edges of the pages catch a light so fast. The flames gobble up each and every one of your crumpled wads of paper, destroying the page, destroying your fears, your doubts, worries, concerns. They have gone now. Gone. Disintegrated into black ash. The fire dies away. There's nothing left to burn. All that's left is fine black ash. And a big gust of wind blows in and blows those pieces of ash away now. Blows them up, out of the landscape of your mind. Blows them far, far away, off into the atmosphere, out into space. And you feel so calm. You feel so free. So it's time to return back to your seat and pick up the book again. And the book naturally falls open around the middle. And on this page is an incredible image, a beautiful picture, a wonderful scene. Look, it's you. It's you and your partner. And you're holding your brand new baby in your arms. And as you look at this image, you notice how you look so radiant. You look calm, so proud of yourself. See yourself surrounded by your favorite colors. Notice how your eyes are sparkling. Here you are with your baby. And yes, you did it. You were both safe and healthy. And you were able to enjoy the birth that was just right for you. This is an incredible image. One that you want to save, to keep, and to think about many times between now and the time your baby arrives. This is your success scene. And as you continue to focus on everything that's in this image, you see this image naturally growing bigger, brighter, larger, clearer, and becoming so big that it literally pops off the page. And there it is in front of you, life size, hovering in front of you. Get up out of your soft, comfortable seat and step right into this image, this picture. It's no longer just a picture. This is you in this body. This is you within and in this scene. This is the body of success. You holding your beautiful baby. Imagine the feeling of your baby in your arms or on your chest. Their soft, soft skin on yours. Feel the love you have for your baby. Feel the love you are receiving from your partner. Hear the sound of your baby's first cries, the sound of their voice. You feel on top of the world, exhilarated, ecstatic. You are so impressed with yourself for using your skills, your tools, everything you learned to make this a positive birth journey. Breathe in all the feelings of being in this body right here, right now. This is you, here with your baby, knowing that you have done it. Let those feelings of accomplishment permeate your entire body. Feel how good it feels. See, you've done it. You had everything you needed within you to experience the birth that was just right for you. And now you know you can do it. You've seen it. You've felt how good it feels. And you could return to this image and these feelings any time that you choose. It is always here for you. And it's almost time to return into the room. But as you get ready to leave your healing space, you notice there's a door to your right that you can open. So being curious, you open the door, walk through, and find yourself at the front of a stage. There before you is a group of people. This group represents all of the people to whom at one time or another during your life you may have given over your power. See them. There might be parents, siblings, other family members. There might be teachers, neighbours, friends. There might be lawyers, doctors, nurses, midwives. There could be work colleagues, an ex, and anyone else who comes to mind. Look at this group of people before you and silently repeat the words that I'm going to say. I gave you my power because I wanted you to accept me, to love me, to provide for me, to care for me, to help me make decisions. But now I'm taking back the power that I relinquished to you. I know that I'm fully capable of calling upon my own power to ensure my own well-being. I know that I have within me the ability to use all of the power that I gave to others. I know that I have the ability to accept myself with love, to provide for myself, to care for myself, to protect myself and my baby, to make good decisions for myself, and to guide my own life. And so now, I'm taking back my power to use for my own good and well-being. I am strong. I am capable. I am powerful. And so with that, it's time to leave. See yourself leaving the stage, leaving your healing space, feeling light-hearted, feeling confident. Notice how brisk and energetic your step is. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 up to 5. You can ignore my count if you'd like to drift further and deeper into a nap, a rest, a sleep. But if you'd like to come back into the room, you will return feeling calm, relaxed, confident, assured, filled with this new sense of excitement, filled with this trust that everything is working out all okay. Everything is working out just the way it's meant to be. 1. Slowly and easily, calmly and gently, returning to your full awareness. 2, every muscle, every nerve in your body, feeling revitalized, feeling energized. 3, from head to toe, feeling calm, maybe feeling a new sense of lightness. 4, eyes beginning to feel alert and clear, fingers and toes beginning to wriggle and move. And 5, coming back now, alert, peaceful, eyes open, fully aware. And if anyone does have any questions they'd like to ask about that process or your experience, please feel free to send me an email or arrange for a time that we can have a chat one-on-one. Going to finish up the session now, and I look forward to seeing you all back here, same time, same place next week. Have a lovely week.